Back to the Ironclad Report. Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to be taking a look or a listen to Post Malone's new song, Goodbyes or something, whatever it's called. If you haven't listened to it, I'll give you a couple seconds to pause the video and go listen to it if you want to. So, that should have been enough time. If you haven't seen it and you don't really give a shit about seeing it, you don't really want to see it, it's your typical Post Malone song, I guess. It's more on the edge of pop sort of sounding more so than traditional rap that we've heard in Stoney. So it's sort of progressing a little bit more, I guess. I like when artists branch out and do other stuff and listen or try new things and experiment with different sounds and sort of branch out from their sort of quote-unquote comfort zone, you know what I mean? Because when they branch out from their comfort zone, it means that they don't want to burn themselves out, and two, they are taking a huge risk at expanding their audience, because you're either going to love their new shit or you're going to hate it. And Linkin Park has been accused of doing the same thing. Every album with Linkin Park sounds different than the last, but that's because they didn't want to get burnt out pumping out the same music all the time. So they took risks. They took the chance at putting out music they wanted to make, regardless of if the fans enjoyed it or not. And a lot of their albums were met with mixed reviews, but you know, the true die-hard Linkin Park fans loved every single song and every single album that Linkin Park put out. And it's the same thing with Post Malone and other artists. If they don't take that chance and they don't put out the music they want to put out, and they just put out music that the fans want all the time, there's nothing wrong with appealing to your fans, and because they're essentially your boss when you're an entertainer or an influencer. Your fans are essentially the people that you work for. So not entertaining your fans and not giving them what they want is not good. And sinking down the charts, you want to go up the charts. You want to go to the number one fucking spot on the charts. You don't want to dive down. So I think this is what Post Malone's doing, because I can hear that it's slightly different than the songs on Stoney. It's less rappy, it's more poppy, which I think is, if that's the direction that Post Malone wants to go, good for him. Forget everyone that doesn't want to follow along for the journey and stick with him, because if he doesn't want to continue making the same music or the same kind of music that we heard on Stoney, then those people can just continue listening to Stoney on loop and repeat and play it until it burns out and they get tired of it. And that's what a lot of artists, I think, do. They just repeat, or if they keep pumping out the same music in the same genre, and the new album they put out sounds like the old one they put out, like, how can you really, if you're not improving, you're just on a plateau. If you're not experimenting with different sounds, experimenting with different beats, collaborating with new people, like, you're not taking these chances, then you're not doing yourself justice, because I think everyone needs to sort of branch out, and that's what I heard Post Malone doing. It sounds like he's branching out, trying new things, and experimenting with different sounds and different genres and mixing things together. Like, this was a more, I think, mellow song than previous Post Malone songs. You know, it's not as harsh, it's not as sharp, It's sort of more mellow and sort of more dull in terms of the sound of the song. You know, it's sort of relaxing to listen to. It's more, again, on the side of pop rather than the side of rap, or more what we consider traditional rap today, with like the hard kicks and the hard snares and the sharp, hard beats that we're used to hearing with artists like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and all these other artists that do hard, sharp beats. Post is sort of taking like I said, a more smooth, a more rounded, a sort of softer route with his new music. Fine. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it. You can find other artists that are doing stuff that is more similar to what Post Malone was doing with Stoney and the harder sort of harsh beats and sharp beats and stuff like that, you know? Whatever you want to do is what you want to do. But congratulations for Post for stepping out and sort of taking a risk. I guess it's not really a risk if he's been doing it for a little while, but I think every musician sort of needs to, after a while, start making the music that they want to make and sort of put themselves into their music 100%, because if they don't put themselves into their music, then no one's really going to be listening to their music. And like, again, it's the same thing with Linkin Park. The members of Linkin Park, you can tell that they were putting themselves into that music, and they were making the music they wanted to make. They were making the music they wanted to listen to, and that, I think, is what you need to do when you're making music. You need to make what you want to listen to, and you want to make what you hope other people want to listen to. So that's what I feel Post Malone is doing with his song Goodbyes in this new sort of, I guess, I don't know if it's a new genre or a new era of Post Malone, but it's a new Post Malone sort of era, I guess. And it's featuring Young Thug, who's a known, I guess, rapper. And sorry about that. So it's a good song. It's a very good song. I would recommend listening to it if you haven't listened to it already. So go give it a listen, and we'll see you guys in the next video. And until then, rock the fuck on.